Central Beirut, targeting a health center linked to Hezbollah. At least 6 people were killed and 7 were wounded in the attack. The Israeli military says the operation was precise and targeted, with strikes also hitting Hezbollah strongholds in southern Lebanon. This comes after Iran fired over 180 missiles into Israel, sparking widespread condemnation and a robust response from Tel Aviv. The Israeli military has issued evacuation orders for multiple areas, warning of future strikes against Hezbollah interests and facilities. Concerns over escalating tensions in West Asia have sparked global airline disruptions. Multiple international airlines have suspended flights to the region or altered routes to avoid affected airspace. Indian flag carrier Air India has suspended flights to and from Tel Aviv until further notice. The Algerian airline Air Algeria suspended flights to and from Lebanon until further notice. Latvia's Air Baltic cancelled flights to and from Tel Aviv until October 31st. The Spanish airline Air Europa cancelled flights to Tel Aviv until October 7th. Air France on September 30th suspended Paris to Tel Aviv and Paris to Beirut flights until October 8th. And UAE's Emirates cancelled flights between Dubai and Beirut until 8th of October. Amidst heightened tension between Iran and Israel on the Gaza Strip and also Lebanon, efforts for stopping the conflict turning into a regional war has started. Emir of Qatar, Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani, has said that he will continue initiatives for peace. G7, India and Russia too have called for restraint and engage into talks by all concerned parties. Let's take a look at this report by DD India's Akhilesh Suman.
A day after Iran launched about 200 missiles targeting Israel, Iran's President Masoud Pezeshkian landed in Qatar to consult and consolidate support in West Asia. He met the Emir of Qatar, Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani, and said that Tehran does not look for war.
We are not looking for war. It is Israel that forces us to react. Israel assassinated our guest in Tehran on the presidential inauguration day. What we want from US and European countries is to tell the entity they have planted in the region to stop the bloodshed.
Pezeshkian is considered a liberal among the Irani politicians and is keen to have good relations with the West. He urged the United States and the European countries to dwell upon Israel from destabilizing the region. Emir of Qatar is playing a role of the mediator between Hamas and Israel. He said that Doha would continue its mediation efforts to end the war. He also reiterated the need for a two-state solution for permanent peace in the region.
We reiterate that the two-state solution and the establishment of an independent Palestinian state on the 1967 borders with East Jerusalem as its capital is the key to achieve a durable and lasting peace in the region.
Meanwhile, Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni held an emergency meeting of the G7 nations on Wednesday, and leaders in a statement said that a region-wide conflict is in no one's interest and that a diplomatic solution is still possible. US President Joe Biden also urged Israel to act proportionally against its regional arch foe. On Wednesday, Biden also said that he would not support any Israeli strike on Iran's nuclear sites in response to the ballistic missile attack.
We'll be discussing with the Israelis what they're going to do, but all 7 of us agree that they have a right to respond, but they should respond in proportion.
India has also urged all concerned parties to maintain restraint and has pushed for diplomatic efforts to end the war. Akhilesh Suman's report for DD India.
Ahead of the first anniversary of the October 7th attack by Hamas on Israel, the country's ambassador to India, Reuven Azar, said that the attack has strengthened Israel's resolve to neutralize the Hamas threat.
We were surprised on the 7th of October, and the nature of these atrocious attacks that included rape and burning and killing of entire families and killing of children in front of their fathers and hostages that were taken. This shocked us on the one hand, but on the other hand, it made us very, very determined to fight the terrorists. very determined to neutralize the Hamas threat. And our government was very clear about that. So we have seen that Israel's society raised up to the cause. And we are fighting the terrorists, and we are sure we are going to prevail.
The Indian ambassador hailed the Israeli ambassador, in fact, hailed the Indian government's stance, particularly Prime Minister Narendra Modi's strong leadership against threats to humanity.
We are very encouraged by the approach of the Indian government, especially the approach of Prime Minister Modi. We are thankful for that. We think that we have to have leaders like him that have conviction, that are strong against this threat on humanity.
All right, our correspondent Akshay Dongre is joining us from the newsroom. Akshay, good afternoon. Get us more as to when we see the escalations in the West Asian region. Any word of caution, any advisory given in by the Indian government for the Indians residing there in the region?
Well, Preeti, yes, advisories were issued as far as the Indians in Iran are concerned, as well as Lebanon and Israel. However, not just the people who are living there, but also the government has said that all unnecessary travel to these regions should be avoided. The tensions are at an all-time high between Iran and Israel. We have seen that both of these sides have exchanged attacks as far as the Israeli attack on Hezbollah is concerned, and the ballistic missile attack that Iran carried out against Israel. The entire region remains on tender hooks. We have seen that Israel has not backed down from retaliating. They have just said that the place and the timing will be of their choice, and they will be retaliating. In fact, they have vowed to retaliate against the ballistic missile attack that was carried out by Iran. Now, the region remains at the brink of war. Today, we saw once again Israel carried out aerial bombing, and now this time from southern Beirut to the central parts of the city, that is also the capital of the country. And now what is expected as far as this conflict is concerned remains quite uncertain, because after the statement that was given by the Israeli government that they will be retaliating, but at a later point of time, the entire region expected some kind of hope of peace, some kind of mediation by the great powers, especially the permanent fives of the United Nations Security Council. However, it seems that despite the warnings by the United Nations, despite the interventions of other countries like France, the United Kingdom, as well as the United States, of urging Israel to not step up the ante against the Iranian regime as far as retaliation is concerned, it's not going as per the advice of these countries, and Israel has once again carried out aerial bombings in the country, in Lebanon, and the ground invasion, the ground assault that is being carried out, is forwarding. A lot of Israeli soldiers have also lost their lives, according to the Israeli data. So it seems that there is no end to this conflict anytime soon, because while we were hoping that there will be some kind of intervention after the region was almost at the brink of war, when after the Iranian regime resorted to missile fire, still if Israel is carrying out these aerial bombing, that the situation is clear that there will be no peace in near future as far as end to this conflict is concerned, as far as ceasefire is concerned. Back to you.
All right, Akshay, now talking of Israel, now with Hezbollah on one side, Hamas on one side, Israel seems to be stuck in, say, devil and deep sea. But then what options does really Israel have? How is it placed? Because we saw, can we say that we did really see this escalation coming, given the way the pager attacks took place, given the way, Hezbollah leader Nasrallah was assassinated, also Hamas political leader Ismail Haniyeh, he was killed. So put all this together, did we really see this coming? And added to that, where is and how is Israel positioned?
Well, we definitely saw it coming, Preeti, especially after the assassination of the Hamas chief. Then we saw Iranian commander
Yes.
was also killed by the Israeli agencies, and then in the end it was Hassan Nasrallah the chief of Hezbollah that was killed by aerial bombings at the Hezbollah headquarters in Lebanon. So clearly the world was expecting an escalation, even though the escalation came a bit later than expected, because the kind of testing that Israel was doing as far as patience of Iran was concerned by attacking Hezbollah through pager attacks, through walkie-talkies, and even the aerial bombing that killed Hassan Nasrallah. One thing had become certain, that the Iranian regime cannot let all of these attacks go unanswered, because that was putting a big question mark on the credibility of the Iranian leadership as well, especially the supreme leader of Iran. He was being questioned by the Iranian public, by neighboring countries as well. So yes, we saw this escalation coming, though the escalation, when it came, it appeared like a war, all-out war breaking out between Israel and Iran. But then some better sense prevailed. Iran said that another attack will be carried out if there is a retaliation. Israel said that a retaliation will take place, but at a later point of time. So that gave the region some time to at least balance itself. However, how long will this lull continue is a big question, and that remains to be seen, that whether the big powers across the world will try and force some mediation between these warring factions in the West Asian region. But from given the past years' experience, Israel is carrying out whatever it has aimed for as far as the attacks against Hezbollah, Hamas, the attacks in Lebanon, and even threatening Iran with attacks at a later point of time. So yes, we did saw it coming. We did see it coming, but as far as the future of the conflict is concerned, it remains uncertain. And while countries like France and the UK have said that if there is an attack on Iran by Israel, they will not be supporting Israel. That has come out as a big statement coming in from two of the permanent 5 members of United Nations Security Council. So whether that will have any impact on Israel or not, that remains to be seen. But till the time United States is supporting Israel as far as their military operations are concerned, stockpiling ammunition and missiles for them, Israel doesn't have to worry as far as the neighbors are concerned, because technologically they remain far more superior than its adversaries in the region.
All right, Akshay, also then how do you gauge the future course of developments in the West Asian region? And added to that, what role could the big powers, the Western powers play here? Because we've seen that continuous demands, continuous requests for a ceasefire have been falling on deaf ears. But then how do we, how do you perceive the situation to move from here on?
Well, quite honestly, Preeti, we don't know where the conflict will go from here, because it has been quite uncertain. The kind of attacks that have been carried out, especially the pager attacks and the walkie-talkie attacks, they have been unprecedented as far as warfares are concerned. Israel has been using some of the best military tactics as far as attacking its adversaries are concerned. It has been preparing, it has prepared for years and years. It has always, said that there is a threat coming in from all corners of West Asia to the existence of the country, and they will fight for the survival. We clearly do not know that where the conflict can go from here, but it all depends on the actions of these countries, both Iran and Israel. And as far as today's developments are concerned, with Israel continuing with aerial bombings, the region can once again very quickly see another flare-up happening.
All right, Akshay, we leave it here. Thank you so much for joining in with those details. So that was our